There has been a big, and it should be said, bipartisan shift this week to embrace freedoms at 80% vaccination rates once they are achieved, when they are achieved. Are you on board?
Look, absolutely. But I think noticing other countries that are a little bit further ahead of us, that even when we get to that 80%, it's still, people need to be aware the game's not over. So I think that, there'll be times where you'll have to put your mask back on when you leave the house and things like that, because you're still going to have 20% of the population that isn't vaccinated, and you've still got all those kids out there that aren't vaccinated either. So it would be nice. I know, Pete, that people, some of us have been really lucky and had our 2 shots already. And I've got people out there saying to me, how come we haven't got our freedoms back yet? I need those people to realise we don't get our freedoms back until everybody else catches up. And we should be grateful that some of us have actually had our 2 shots. So I think for me, the safest way for the country is to make sure we can get to that 80% as quickly as possible. Like I said, it may mean further on down the track that we may need to put face masks back on when these things flare back back up. But the sooner that we can get on with our daily lives, the better off we're going to be. When you're adding up the other side of it, the mental illness, keeping people at home, what that's doing behind those closed doors and things like that, I think we need to add it up. And I can tell you now, if they've said we're getting our freedoms at 80%, they need to make sure that that is delivered.
Yeah, that's the deal. And the Prime Minister referred to that this week. It is a deal that has been made with the public. Have you noticed a shift at all? I mean, Tasmania is doing very well when it comes to vaccinations at the moment. It's right up there. New South Wales, I notice, according to the latest graphs, has stuck its nose in front at the moment when it comes to the race. But Tasmania, it should be said, is doing well. Have you noticed a change in sentiment at all, Senator, about reopening from the people that you're talking to?
Yeah, sure. We'd like to shut Tasmania down until it's all over and done with, mate. Not let you mainlanders in. That's where we're at.
Well, just like what WA's doing.
I think we've got a lot of elderly down here, and I don't think it's quite getting through to people just how big of an impact it's actually having on our small businesses, our hotels, our motels, our pubs, our clubs. And right across the board here, they're really suffering. They can't stay in this for much longer, mate. They're doing everything to keep their heads above water. And sooner or later, we need to open those borders. We need you mainlanders to come back in.
Yeah.
We rely on, it's big on tourism and very big on mainland tourists rather than just international. So we need just back in here, mate.
Can your hospitals cope, do you think, Senator? I mean, we're seeing these stories in New South Wales at the moment, particularly in Western Sydney, hospitals being overrun at the moment with cases. I mean, this is going to happen once you open up. Do you have any concerns about hospitals being able to handle the influx?
I have. This is one of our problems down here in Tasmania compared to the Northern Territory, which is in a bad state itself when it comes to its public hospital system. We're actually pretty even with the statistics, which is really unfortunate for Tasmania. We have that elderly population down here per capita. We have a gross amount of them. So, for us not to have the public hospital system that should be tickety-boo, we're probably one of the worst in the country, and that really worries people out there. We start getting up. We don't have the staffing, mate. We don't have the nursing staffing because we're not having overseas nurses and that come through and do their job. So it is a real worry if it comes down here in Tasmania. That's one of the biggest problems that we have.
Sure.
People are aware of our hospital system is a mess, and that is really concerning for them.
Okay. What's your message to premiers, i.e. Mark McGowan, Anastasia Palaszczuk, who are still threatening to keep borders closed after 80% vaccination targets are reached? Have they gone rogue?
I think they will find. Once people are 80% vaccinated, and that was a promise that was made, if they continue to keep those borders shut and don't let people in, I think that they're going to find some backlash with that. There's no doubt about that. People are sick and tired of going through this. They're sick and tired of the lockdown. And if they know that they're getting, even us that are ahead and had those 2 vaccinations saying, well, where's our freedoms? But, on the back of our minds, knowing that we've still got wait for the rest to catch up. When they do catch up, those borders need to be open unless there's a massive outburst, or unless we get a different strain down here or something like that. We need to move on with this. So I'll let the public determine that when that happens. If those 2 guys, if Anastasia and of course Mark want to continue to keep their borders closed, then I have a feeling they're going to get a very big backlash from the rest of their state.
So what do you do about the remaining people who don't get vaccinated, Senator?
Well, unfortunately, they're going to miss out on freedoms, and I think we're already seeing that. You're looking at employment, people out there saying, unless you've had both jabs, you're not working in these areas. I think Qantas pubs and clubs out there now saying we want our staff to be fully vaccinated, and if you're not fully vaccinated, then we've got a problem. We're not going to let you in. So you can already see the momentum of that building. So what will happen is that 20%, I think, if they think they're going to fly from state to state or go here and there, I think they're going to miss out. So unless you have a medical certificate or a good reason why you shouldn't be vaccinated, I would suggest that you go and get vaccinated, because that you will pay the price for that. There is no doubt. It will turn around, and you will go without.